On this episode of Tech Weekly, we're going to talk about the Mac Defender virus and what that means for users of the Macintosh who, somewhat think that they have a virus-free ecosystem, but really, I don't know. They may need to start running an antivirus. Also, we've got some Windows Phone news with their new Mango update, and then finally, some news about Twitter. You can now view other people, their timeline, and we've got Carlo joining us all this week to talk about that and more.
On Tech Weekly. Tech Weekly, episode 50. It's May 28th, 2011.
Yes.
What's up, guys?
Jeff, I think we finally got that right.
Yes, I finally convinced Nick to do it the right way. No, just kidding. Hey, tell me this, Nicholas.
What?
Do you like to not have to edit the videos after the fact?
Yes. But I know it was my mistake.
I know. I'm just saying, if we have the abilities to do it
good.
live,
No, I love doing it live.
Yeah, I'm just saying this. I'm just saying.
So, Jeff, to the people who watch live, they probably noticed that we were pigging it out earlier because we had burgers for breakfast.
You were pigging it out. I don't know what you're talking about.
True.
I haven't eaten anything ever. No, I'm just kidding. I had the hamburger upstairs. He had the second one downstairs.
Shh, don't say anything. But let's talk about this burger that you ate last night.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So
let me actually get
let's
right
give a little
thing here.
Let's give oh my gosh. So this
is the crew that was at Mugshots. It was a besties meetup, I guess, or whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
And the two on the left are moving to England, and we're actually having a go-away party tonight. But then, me and the other girl were besties of the other two.
Up?
So we're like, hey, what's up? So this is Mugshots. They have a burger challenge. If you finish it in 12 minutes, you get it for free.
Yeah. So right now, this is before the
this is before
the event.
So this is the burger.
Oh my gosh.
That is 3 half-pound patties, which the pound and grams, that would be for all our international viewers.
So there's a reason that Jacob's full of freaking huge, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. And this is why I'm fat. No.
The new Burger King.
I do not like this search for...
Yeah, now...
basically...
But let's talk about why you're looking this up. There's a lot of different food challenges around the U.S. There's shows that talk about it all the time. And essentially, the base of it is, if you finish the food challenge, you get the food for free.
Yes.
And most of the time, it's either really expensive or a lot of food or same.
Yeah, something that you can't really do.
Yeah.
So basically, for all our international viewers that don't use the pound system, because I don't really like it anyways, because it's hard to convert between different things, that would be 225 gram burgers a piece. So that's 3 of those.
Yeah.
So we're talking about 1.5 pounds, or whatever that is, 675 gram of beef.
Yeah.
So plus you have the fries, you have the buns. There's 2 whole buns, tops and bottoms, and some fried pickles and an onion ring, which I already ate when this picture was taken.
Oh.
Where see the little 3 skewers up there?
That's where the onion ring was.
Right here.
There? Yeah.
There's these 3 skewers holding it all together, and there was an onion ring and these little pickles down here were up there. But then you got all these fries you also have to finish in 12 minutes. So
the key is 12 minutes. I mean, I know it's debatable. Anyway.
Eric says he barely weighs that much. You only weigh 1.5 pounds?
Now,
So that thing is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I made the mistake of a couple of mistakes.
Mistake number
1, I had an omelet for breakfast that day. Okay? We'll get to that, Eric. Just hold on a second. I made a mistake. I had an omelet for breakfast. I had a hot dog and pork rinds or pork skins for lunch.
Wait. Oh, so you did have lunch?
Yes.
Okay. So you couldn't make it without having lunch?
Well, I was like, oh, junk, I need something. And I'm like, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be all like Jonesing and Jones.
So
if I
could that
don't.
be the mistake? You think that?
No, this is the number one mistake. You know how like if you eat food too fast, you're like,
Yeah.
and you're like,
See, that was what I was saying. I was saying.
I was
even
drinking
though-
water.
Okay, water.
I drank a whole. You remember like Papa
Oh,
Size,
yeah.
those glasses? I drank a whole one of those of water while I was eating this thing. That's where it came down because my stomach couldn't physically hold all of that plus the whole glass of water. See, like the glass of water over here.
Yeah.
I drank that whole thing while I was eating this, and I just couldn't.
And another
eat no
issue,
more.
it's not the burger. And for one thing, the burger has a bunch of filler in it. I mean, it's got bread all in it. It's
and
got,
lettuce, tomato,
Yeah.
onions, mayonnaise, mustard, 6 slices of bacon, and
and then not to mention
Yeah.
you've got a whole that's probably,
that's a lot of fries.
That's probably twice a serving or more of fries that they would normally give you.
It's about 3 times the amount of fries that they normally would give you.
Yeah.
I just can't look at that thing anymore. I'm drowning in drooling.
All right, and then here is
This was the aftermath. This was right after she said time up. So I have about a fourth of the fries gone. The whole burger is gone, and that's all I could do in 12 minutes.
Were there pickles on the burger?
No, there was fried pickles that you had to eat separately.
And one more thing, how were the fried pickles?
They were pretty good,
Right.
actually.
Because we were talking about when you left on Thursday that you can do fried pickles really good or really bad. And all right,
Yeah, and by the way, after I sat there and burped a couple more times and made some room in my
Yeah.
stomach, I went and got me a peanut butter shake.
you did mention to me that you were hoping to be done and still have dessert.
Yeah.
So.
So, yeah. So,
Well,
out of all of that,
I have to say, very good job. That was a pretty
PBcast 9700, that is at Mugshots.
Yes.
They are located randomly throughout the United States.
Oh, so this is actually a chain. I didn't realize
yes,
that.
it
Okay.
is.
So that's pretty cool.
There's one. I know there's one in Tuscaloosa. There's one,
Well,
of course, and
could
then
be still
there's some in other states.
Okay, that's cool. But there's food challenges all around. So Jeff, now to get to the tech news, since we've made everybody hungry because we do this right around lunch. There's some pretty big tech news this week, and I don't know if you guys were around for the pre-show. I mentioned we've got a lot of big stories. A lot of times, there's some stories that we just put in there just to have stories. Our first story here has brought up a lot of different issues. So earlier this week and a little bit of last week, after we did the show, it came up that this new Mac Defender malware had come out, and it was being distributed multiple ways. People were downloading it on accident, but the main cause, Jeff, and you've me and you and I, everybody who uses Windows has probably dealt with this at one time. You click on something, you're browsing, it doesn't matter what you're browsing for, and a little window pops up. Most of the time, for the Windows side, it looks like an XP progress bar or something like that, and
Yeah,
it said,
which luckily these people are so lazy that they don't upgrade their little
Yeah.
malware thing. So
Yeah.
it's like XP. I don't have XP. These people are stupid.
yeah. So, that's one thing, and then so it tells you, doing a check or whatever for whatever you're doing. Well, essentially, the Mac Defender virus looked a lot like Mac OS X. And I've heard from some people, if if you know what you're doing, you're not going to click on it because you're just like, oh, just quit the browser really quick, because it was probably obvious. But for somebody who has just started using a Mac or just using whatever, it's the same reason that people fall for it on Windows. They get a lot of people from that on Windows, but they wouldn't get anybody probably who watches this show. So, essentially, if you click on it and a couple different things happen, you get this malware installed on your computer. And this has been an issue because so many people moved to the Mac and said, I'm moving to the Mac because there's no way I can get a virus. Well, really the main point is you can still get a virus just as easily on Mac as you can on Windows, but nobody writes viruses for Mac because, people who write viruses who are out to get data or whatever, or just to get another system, compromise another system to send out spam email or whatever they're doing, they want to target the highest user rate. So they're going to go for Windows. Well, now we've seen it kind of starting out from Mac, and we've seen a couple of these, but This is the first one. Now, Carlo, have you come in contact with this thing? You know, Jacob and I, not being Mac users, it's kind of hard for us to visualize.
I actually haven't, but I actually protect my Mac, and I know what I'm looking for, so I'm quite savvy. But
So,
what I have to say is there is two ways you can avoid this as a Mac user. One of them is to actually get an antivirus. And one of them that I use is called Sophos, and it's pretty good.
I've heard
I
of
think
Sophos
that's sophos.com. That works pretty well. And also another way to sort of help protect yourself, if you use Safari, is
yes.
to go into the preferences of Safari and uncheck the automatically open save files, because that's one of the ways it can get into your system, automatically download, open, and start the installer, which apparently this new variant does not require a password, so it can actually get in there and start doing its stuff. But if you've already got an antivirus like I have, then you shouldn't really want anything else on there, so it should be pretty obvious you don't want that on there.
Yeah.
And you go, I've already got an antivirus, so go away.
Yeah.
That's what I usually do when I come across those things.
Now, if you go over here, this is an example of what it looks like. I mean, it looks pretty. I mean,
I like the random
Somewhat.
twitching between the picture of the
Oh,
food
yeah.
eating.
It looks pretty. I mean, it looks a lot better than something that I see on Windows a lot. Like,
Oh
I
yeah,
thought that
the one on
laptop
Windows.
looks like a PowerBook G4 or something. It's
Yeah.
not even a modern Mac laptop on the picture,
yeah,
which throw me off straight away.
Yeah, but like the ones on Windows. The thing with Windows is that the Internet Explorer browser kind of like looks a little bit different. You know, if you
Than the
tell
rest
it to
of the
show,
UI.
don't show me this and don't show me that, don't show me that. You still are going to have like the status
Yeah.
bar at the bottom and stuff like that.
right.
And it's just kind of like, yeah, this isn't what it is.
Yeah, and Carlo mentioned this. Essentially, a lot of the I keep saying essentially a lot of the different ways that this is being installed on people's system is. I mean, it's not going to get installed on. If Jacob and I or Carlo, he's already mentioned. You know, we're savvy with computers somewhat. It's probably not going to get installed. But I was listening to another podcast, and they were saying, "Wow, we've seen a lot of cases where it's being automatically installed." And Apple addressed this. Is if you're using Safari, there's a chance that it can auto download and auto install, and that's it ships like that. So if you download Safari, or if your Mac comes with Safari, you may not know about that preference, and it could just do that automatically.
Yeah, you got to take proactive defensive measures to prevent this, because apparently Apple hasn't pushed out like some kind of like patch or something.
They
for
finally
this yet.
they're talking about it, and I think they finally did, or they have, and they addressed it in a blog post, which is very rare for Apple to say. Well, for
Yeah,
one
they
thing,
got a keynote or something.
and never
Talk
they
about
never address security ever,
Oh,
because you don't want to bring up
100% safe.
yeah.
I did get an update come
Okay.
through a couple of days ago addressing that, but it's still basically out there, and there's more of them out there right now. Like, I think there's one called Mac Guard, which is out there right now, which actually is by the same name of one that is actually in the Mac App Store, so that can be actually quite deceiving to a lot of people.
Right.
They basically just have to watch out. Like, so if you get like something that's, say, what you call it, reputable or whatever, like Sophos or something, then you know that you're pretty much, well, I wouldn't say completely safe, but safer than you would be without. Like I basically said, it doesn't matter what you're on, whether you're on Windows, Linux, or Mac, you're never safe just because you use Linux. You're never safe just because you use a Mac.
Yeah, because you can run
need
scripts
an
on any
antivirus
of them.
protection, whatever you use.
Yeah, it just takes that one little. It takes just somebody to target you. That's all it does. I mean, everybody
It's
thinks.
just that one thing,
Yep.
and then you can lose everything.
Now, just a little tip here. I know, Carlo, you've mentioned, what is it, Sophos? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Sophos. So I'm not sure how I actually pronounce it. It's my accent. I don't know if it's
that's
Sophos
fine.
or
That's fine.
Sophos or whatever, but
You can put it in the
I can
chat.
find
There you
it.
go.
Yeah, it's SOPHOS.
Just knew this way, and that's how you spell it.
Sophos.
And Sophos is a good option that I've heard from multiple people that use Macs. I mean, I don't use a Mac on a daily basis, so I mean, I don't have too much of an experience. But if am I correct that you can download that in the Mac App Store?
Not the Mac App Store.
Oh, really?
As far as I know, I got it on the website. But it's a free antivirus,
cool.
and it just sits there in the top of your menu bar, just like, say, Security Essentials within Windows.
Okay.
It sits there. It auto scans every now and then, and it will let you know if there's something going on.
Well, especially for this specific, Sophos, Jeb, I would, if it's free, download it. I mean, I know.
And they're usually pretty on top of anything that's going on so far. So usually you publish it on the website, so it's Mac Defender thing, they know about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if, say, I did actually come in contact with it, it would actually pop up and say, that this file is dangerous and you should get rid of it. Or it will actually maybe stop it from opening.
And also, when it comes to antiviruses, I tend to not try to I don't know. I don't tend to skimp on antiviruses.
Oh no, you never do that.
Because I mean, that's you're basically what you're as vulnerable as your weakest link or whatever.
Yes.
So if your antivirus sucks, then
Now, yeah, we do have to mention. I mean, there's plenty of security podcasts, and I mean, this is really, this is the only reason I know anything about security is, I mean, if you think about it, it's your actions that dictate what happens to your computer. I mean, if you just browse every once in a while, you're probably not going to get a virus. If you're going to porn sites, if you're going to downloading music all the time, you're at a higher risk to get a virus. But the first thing is to be proactive on your part. Even if you're on a Mac, even if you're on Linux, I don't care what it is, you can't have the mindset that, oh, I'm on Mac, I'm on Linux, I'm not going to get a...
I'm 100% protected.
Yeah. I know there's a bunch of antiviruses for Linux, but I would say antivirus is your backup option. You want to take some measures of being, pretty proactive when you're browsing and making sure you're not installing stuff like the Mac virus. I know on this Mac Defender virus, you actually have to type in your system admin password. So I mean, that could be one that you're like, whoa. But please,
the new one doesn't even do that. It supposedly bypasses that and goes straight through.
Well,
so you've got to be more careful now.
That's even more dangerous. Yeah, but I mean, please don't just sit there. I mean, Sophos is free. That's a good option. I know there's a couple on Linux that you can download that are free.
There's also I think there's a paid for the Mac. You can get ESET as well.
Yeah.
Leopold promotes that one.
Yeah, I've heard they just came out with that not too long. Didn't they? I'm pretty sure that they
was
launched
the
that.
Linux one. I think Mac and Windows ones the Mac one's been around for a while, and there's also ESET for Linux as well. So there are options. You can go paid, or you can go free. There's usually an option for each system depending on what you're on.
Yeah, but this is one thing you don't want to slack on is security, because I mean I saw Eric's tweet. It might have been yesterday. He was talking about he was just sitting in school and he has an iPhone, and somebody asked him for his iPhone. He said, "I'm not giving you my iPhone because this has personal data and things like that on it. Everything that's on your computer is at risk if you get compromised by a virus. It doesn't matter if you don't have anything on your computer. There's still, essentially it's limitless what people could do if they compromise your computer. So, I mean, you're opening yourself up from people getting spam emails. That's pretty low on the level to all the way, being used to give more people a virus. I mean, you just got to think about things like this. And
sometimes all it takes is for you to click one link and then you're done for.
Yeah.
Especially in some certain situations, like with email. You click on an email link and it takes you to a website, and then it starts downloading something, does its thing, and then before you know it, you're stuffed. You've got to be really careful what you do.
Yep. This is a topic. So you could sit here. I know Leo does a show on security. I know that Steve from the Tech Buzz, he does Lockdown. Those are two great podcasts you want to check out if it is scary sometimes, Jabe, if you think about it, how much personal information is on even your cell phone. I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and somebody was addressing this situation, and they said, wow, what happens when people start targeting your Android phone, which we've already seen?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what happens if that becomes mainstream? I mean, you just think about it. Everything that you can do on your computer, all the information, you could store that on your cell phone. And
which you would hope that the people that are designing these operating systems would take proactive measures to not let that happen.
But I mean, I think it's going to take something like this on Android.
But you know what I'm saying? Why do we have?
Yeah.
If we got an operating system and it's supposed to be all secure and junk, why do we have to take another step to protect ourselves, the operating system should already be protected.
I do agree with that.
You know, like I shouldn't have to worry about viruses if I'm using an operating. You know, I paid for an operating system. I should have some kind of protection against everything out there. You know, like rewrite your stuff so that you know you can't just run stuff without like some kind of like something. You know, they make it too easy for stuff to run on the computers automatically and stuff.
Yeah, but I think you're still gonna fight a losing battle in some cases because I mean people are always gonna attack. I mean, people, even if it's harder to attack, people just find a more sophisticated way of getting access. So,
which the good thing is that a lot of that is dying.
Yeah,
it's nowhere near as bad as it was like 10 years ago.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if you get access to somebody's Facebook account, why do you even need their computer anymore?
Yeah, well, like you don't have just random people just making worms and stuff just for fun to destroy people's hard drives. You know, it's like, I mean, you have it every once in a while, but like it's just like it doesn't happen as much anymore.
Yeah, you're saying it's a good thing that this is so rare. I mean,
people are more messing with the cloud stuff than anything now,
which is also
people are more after info than they are after balking your computer nowadays.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're using a Mac, definitely check out Sophos and ESET's Nod 32 antivirus. Definitely two good ones that we recommend.
And if you're on Windows, of course, because we do have Windows users out here.
Do.
Kaspersky.
Kaspersky.
It costs you some money, but it's worth it. Trust me. Or don't go free antivirus on Windows. I'm sorry. Just
the only free antivirus I would ever recommend for Windows is Microsoft Security Essentials. But I don't even...
If you want to be protective and not get anything on your computer, get Kaspersky.
Yeah.
Because
I have it and it doesn't.
For Windows.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, don't go the big name brands. I don't care if you buy your computer at Best Buy. Don't get Norton. Don't get
Norton
McAfee.
Will give you viruses.
Yeah.
I think they purposely give you viruses so they'd be like, oh, you should have upgraded to the better one. I'm just saying. Kaspersky, I've had it on all my computers. My parents have it on all their computers. I recommend it to my friends, and it's just... Oh, and by the way, this episode of Tech Weekly is brought to you by... No, just kidding.
So this next story here is from Ars Technica, and once again, Microsoft decided that they were gonna put on their best Apple and have a keynote in San Francisco, and after showing off many developer features of April's Mix event, you know, Microsoft's developer conference, Microsoft showed off for the first time the next version of Windows Phone, codenamed Mango. It will offer the platform's users, or at least... wait, this is kind of confusing.
Say what?
It's got 500 new features, essentially. It's got a bunch of different things that are coming. You know, really in the last one we saw copy and paste come in. Was it Nodo or Do something? I don't know.
The last one, had copy and paste in it, the Nodo one, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
We should have more simple names for these things. Come up with some silly names sometimes.
Yeah. I think I don't. Jeff, do you still consider Windows Phone 7 as like a third, but behind iOS and Android? I mean, there's a couple vying for that space, but I think Microsoft is big enough where we can. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of iffy on that third place.
I don't know, because at the end of the day, I think BlackBerry's right behind Android and iOS.
Users, still.
I mean, for operating, now are we talking about quality or shares kind of deal?
Well, I mean, if there's more shares, that means we have to focus on it more because there's more people using it. But I would put this ahead
quality, I would think that. I mean, see, I don't know because I never used the Windows Phone 7 stuff. Mm-hmm. I've used BlackBerry and I've messed around in the iPhone, and I've used Android, and of course, from what I use, I would always suggest Android just because that's what I use all the time. But see, this is where Microsoft's a great company, by the way. Okay, they come out with some cool peripherals and you know, Windows 7's pretty good and all that stuff. Yeah. But Bing just needs to be aborted right now. I
hate Bing. Why?
Like I opened up Internet Explorer on my computer at work because some stuff I have to go to on Internet Explorer because of, you know, security things. So I opened it up, and of course the default search engine is Bing. So I searched No. Sorry. Let me take that back. I was on a coworker's computer, and he loves Bing. All right, we gotta search this with Bing. I go to MSN.com, right? Bing. And so we searched. So I was searching something, and it wouldn't find it. I'm like, okay, I know I just searched this just like 5 minutes ago on Firefox with Google. Yeah. Okay, on my other computer. I'm like, it's there. It was the first link on the top. And so I just opened up Google and searched it, and I'm like, there it is. Like, why? I mean, I understand they do different algorithms. They're also pulling from a different data pool and stuff. But why would... I don't know. It just seems like Google has been doing this for a long time. Okay?
I don't like Bing at all. And they are trying to copy Google in a lot of ways with the maps and...
Yeah, but they just can't...
The search results.
The search results content... They're like, if you want to get to it quick, you go to Bing. Yeah. I'm like, no, you're going to get a filtered list that doesn't have everything you want.
Smoothie said Bing maps are nice.
Bing maps are nice. Yeah. I do go to Bing sometimes for their maps because they have that bird's eye view stuff. Yeah, that's really cool because you can, if you're in an area where like you've, a populated area, not like some rural sticks or something.
Yeah.
You can go in there and actually see your house or whatever you're looking at as a bird's eye view. It's actually like a satellite shot that was kind of come in at an angle.
That's pretty cool.
And you can see the side of your house, not just the top. You can see the side. Plus, then you can go and rotate around it on the cardinal system. So, I mean, that's I like it because you can do that. But like Smoothie says, that's about it. Yeah. I don't use image search. I don't use video search. I don't use their web search. And the thing about trying to tie all this back together like I was trying to in the first place, Windows Phone 7 basically uses all that. Just like how Android uses all the Google stuff. Unless you buy it from AT&T, then you use all the Yahoo stuff.
Which is so weird.
Which is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. You got Bing search. You got, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, like, it's like they don't have anything that's your own. You know what I'm saying? Like, on their search, like, for example, you go to live.com.
Yeah.
Okay? It's all, like, connections to other things. Like, they got the Messenger.
I get what you're saying.
But, like, it's like, tie in your Facebook, tie in this, tie in that, tie in your Picasso web album, tie in this. I'm like...
Yeah.
But what about stuff that you guys do? No, we don't do anything. You got to tie in all your other accounts.
Yeah. I think that's one of the more compelling reasons to use an Android phone is because, I use Gmail, I use Google Docs, I use YouTube, whatever. It's all connected in there.
Yeah, you got to... And that's just what it comes down to is Google has I would say, a bigger backbone in the sense of...
Definitely a web backbone.
A web backbone. Yeah. Microsoft does have probably a bigger company in the sense of, what they got stuff going on. But it's like hardware and software. It's not cloud stuff. Yep. And I hate Messenger with a passion. I tried to put it on one day.
Internet Explorer on it as well.
Yeah. So, it's like... And now that people are becoming more aware of alternatives out there for stuff... you're going to see a lot more pulling back, and they're going to have to come out with more things to pull them back. Now that people know that they can go get Firefox, or if someone gets a computer from the store with Linux on it, and it comes with Firefox already installed, hey, guess what? I didn't even know this browser existed.
Yep.
So...
we'll include I don't know, it's like an 8-minute video or something that shows off the 500 new features of Windows Phone, and I think we down Windows Phone. We just don't like it, but
I don't really like that little live like desktop
tiles
thing because to me it's like I don't know. It seems like it's gonna be like I don't know. It's just like they're like, oh, get done quicker. I'm like, but I can get done just as quick on any other phone.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like Windows Phone, but the thing that I always credit with Microsoft is they didn't... Microsoft could have just made Microsoft Android look alike or Microsoft iPhone look alike, but they...
Well, in a sense, it almost kind of does. I understand that everything kind of like has a underlying tone of the same thing with each other.
Yeah.
And you can only go so far. But I'm glad they did do a different kind of desktop, but at the same time... they still have like, you know, to me that seems cluttered.
Yeah, it does.
It's not to me that's just the way my brain works because I'm like geared towards Android and stuff like that. I want like if I want to like I want to be able to customize not just like a grid pattern. You know, like I want to have like a search thing where I can just or whatever. I want to be able to see the time instantly or something, and I don't know.
Yeah, Smoothie says it's too junky.
I've never been a fan of the blocks.
Yeah,
that's the one thing I just don't like. I like the blocks. I don't like the.
It's like you can't see anything.
Side, it's got the communication thing there, where someone's having like a text message conversation, and well, the colours are horrible. The whole setup is just.
It's not polished. It's kind of like flat and ugly and.
It's almost grungy in a way.
Yeah, like some kind of like Internet Explorer 6 feel to it. You know, I don't know.
I wonder why.
You know, like some old web page or something that you went to and you're like, dude, you haven't updated your web page since like 1999. You need to put some like beveled gloss and, you know, make it eye candy. You know.
Apparently, there's going to be no Flash support on it either, so that might throw people off.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't had Flash support since day one. I think. In some ways, they want to push Silverlight, but I mean, there's.
But it's only for Microsoft stuff. You know, it's like it's not trans-platform. You know.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, YouTube doesn't run on Silverlight.
Yeah, true.
So it's not going to do you any good unless you got some massive backbone that you're on the fly switching YouTube videos from Flash to Silverlight. And then you're like, why don't you just give us Flash?
Yeah.
So.
I threw this story in here. It wasn't like a big tech story, but since we're not going to be here on Monday to do Gadget Gurus, I want to cover this a little bit. Dell launched their XPS 15Z this week. It's right under $1,000. It's pretty good. I mean, pretty good specs. It's got 6 gigs of DDR3 RAM. Yeah, it is aluminum. It's got a 2.3-inch Core i5 processor, NVIDIA GeForce GT. What is that? 525M graphics, so mobile graphics, 1 gig of graphics memory. You know, it's essentially. I mean, they're going directly after the MacBook Pro.
Well, what I do like about this is, and I haven't been keeping up with the XPS stuff.
Yeah.
But you remember, like, what was it like? Maybe 5 years ago, an XPS was like this thick laptop.
Yeah.
Okay. Now it's actually getting manageable. It's a more preferred laptop. It means that you're going to have higher quality. You know, XPS no longer means uber bulk. Like the XPS desktop was like, I mean, massive.
Yeah.
I had one at my last job.
Almost,
I mean, no, it wasn't even full ATX. It was like one step higher.
Really?
And like it was just ridiculous. I mean, like. But now XPS now means that you got a lot of power, but now you also have sleekness, higher quality, you know. And I mean, Dell's all fine and all. I mean, you know, they are in a way a I don't know. They kind of get locked in their own little ways and
yeah. And Smoothie is saying, you know, XPS used to be, I thought, was their gaming line, but now since they acquired or whatever they did with Alienware, I think. I mean, Alienware is like their gaming line.
Oh, they have Alienware now?
Yeah. Alienware.
Oh, okay.
I think they've always.
So I guess then now that's the bulk.
Or am I wrong? Carlo, do you know Alienware?
Dell's had Alienware for a few years now, I think. They do own the company.
So, well, then that makes sense because that's why they changed the XPS form factor because they have Alienware now to take that place. Alienware is big old bacon.
They've got the 11-inch. What they call their portable gaming system. It's like this thick. I'm like,
oh yeah,
what
it's basically like a ATX motherboard in it.
What'd you say, Carlo?
So the Alienwares, they don't look very portable because they're just the bases are huge.
Yes.
Now I saw one guy that I follow on Twitter wrote a blog post, and I haven't been able to actually confirm this. They said that it's the thinnest 15-inch ever. And I don't think so because I don't think that they would do that. And he's the only one I've heard say that. And I looked all over Dell's website. They're not saying that it is.
They're not pushing that.
Yeah, because
it does look a lot like the MacBook Pro. Though,
it does. And that's where he was going. Is the last MacBook Pro is like 0.97 inches thick or whatever, and they claim that it was the thinnest 15-inch model.
Well,
ever.
see, at the end of the day, like, I understand everybody's like, oh, you're copying us. No, you're copying me. No, you're copying me. But, like, you know, Apple's all about lawsuits and patent infringements and stuff. But at the end of the day, you do not patent that you made your laptop out of aluminum. That's not one of their patents.
Yeah.
You can't patent that. It's just a material. You can't patent materials.
Yeah, honestly,
You have to patent a process. And so, you know, Dell can make their laptops out of aluminum, but it's much more expensive than injection molded plastic.
Well, that's
Trust
all-
me. Because you're having to get a machine involved, every single laptop. With injection molding, you're making a negative
One
mold
mold.
that is machined. I mean, it's not going to be one, but of course, it's going to be like
whatever.
substantially less than every single one has to be touched with a CNC machine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it does. It will increase the price of a laptop, of course, if you add like, you know, machined aluminum to it. But I mean, I guess some people want that quality, but don't want a Apple. So I'm glad that they understand what people might want.
Yeah.
You know, some people might like, well, you know, I'm not going to admit it. You know, Cleveland. I'm not going to admit it, but I think the apples look pretty sweet. But I'm not going to go buy me a laptop that's made from Apple. But now if Dell releases one and it's basically almost the same thing. Now they did put their Dellness to it. They got the round bezel on the screen, and you know it's kind of tapered on the bottom. It's not like it's not the standard Apple design where it's, you know, like a you know, a thick, not a thick, but you know what I'm saying, like it doesn't, like the phones and stuff now are all, you know, uniform thickness kind of deal. So I mean, they did keep their stuff, but yeah, slot loading drive now, and so yeah.
Honestly, I like. I don't. I mean, in some ways, I don't think that, you know. I mean, I don't want to. If I'm going to buy an Apple laptop, I'm going to go buy an Apple laptop. But I get what you're saying. I don't think anybody should catch flag just because they make a laptop that's aluminum. Because aluminum, I mean, if you think about it, that's great. I mean, my iPad's made out of aluminum. The backing is. I think the next laptop I get is probably going to be made out of aluminum just because it's so durable and it provides, you know, it's not like it's light, but it's still like.
But
protective.
then at the same time, you know, aluminum's going to add a lot of weight.
Oh, so they do say it's the thinnest on the planet. All right. Well, I'll have to look into that.
It adds a lot of weight. Okay.
Yeah.
It also aluminum will
Dent.
Yeah, I mean you can bend aluminum.
Yeah.
And when it's that thin, you can bend it very easily. Plastic can be very thin and have rib structure. I understand some people don't want plastic.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's all about I've always said that there's like a ratio, the size to weight ratio of electronics.
I got you. Yeah, we've talked about this
that
before with
basically
phones.
tells you if it's cheap or well made. This is big. Aluminum laptops are becoming a new class altogether because they're not heavy, but they're heavier than the standard.
Yeah.
I would like this weight to be, but people are like, but it's aluminum. So in your mind, you're like, I'm.
Compare that it's aluminum, so it can be thicker to be better quality.
Yeah. I'll give them, you know, so much thickness in my mind and weight, and I'll still think it's cool, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know what I'm saying, like. Yeah. Oh, but by the way, as a little side note, talking about random things.
Yes.
The Galaxy Tab was on Woot.
The 10.1 or the 7-inch?
The 7-inch.
Okay.
Was on Woot Monday or Tuesday.
Oh gosh, don't tell me you bought one.
No.
Okay.
But it was only for $245.
That's not a bad deal at all.
I was like, I was contemplating it.
I played with the 10-inch, or no, I didn't play with the 10-inch. I played with the Zoom. The Zoom is higher quality than I thought it was. The screen, it still has that, you know, on some of the lower-end Android phones when you touch it and then, like, it's not...
It has a slight delay.
But it's not, I mean, it's not like you touch it and then 5 seconds later. I mean, it's like, it's a
delay. It's
delay.
milliseconds, but your brain can still sense that it is delayed.
That's how it was, but that's just a side note. I think You've said Samsung. Watch Samsung for tablets, and I think the Galaxy
Hey,
Tab
at
10.1
CES, they had some stuff that they're going to be pushing out soon.
Yeah.
Hey, OLED screens, they're coming.
I hope
Just
so.
saying.
I think I tried. I was at the 7-inch Galaxy Tab. I tried that about a week or two after it came out. It was in one of my local supermarkets. I had to play with it, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I do like to.
Yeah.
I like the 7-inch form
I
factor.
already had an iPad though, so I didn't bother
Yeah.
going for it. But if I didn't have one, it would be something that I would have maybe considered getting.
Well, see, and I like
It
the
did look pretty cool.
ability that you can, go in there and put some other ROM on there too.
Yeah. That's the big
So I mean, I like that it is upgradable in the sense of whatever. But I'm ready for someone to bring out like a very powerful like dual core tablet that's ready to go and great battery life and thin and I'm ready for it because I'll probably buy one.
Yeah.
Because I mean it'd be fun to have one.
Yeah.
I mean I got my phone too, but sometimes it's like, hey, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever. It would be like a little, but really and truly, a tablet is kind of like a toy basically when it comes down to
it's
it. Because
Yeah.
I'm like my Google TV.
Yeah.
Okay. Google TV. I go in there and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is cool. I can watch stuff on my TV. Then I'm like, but I got a computer over there where I can just go and like I have access to everything. And I'm like, I'm just gonna go to the computer real quick and sit down here and because that's what I'm used to. So
Yeah.
you know how it is.
I know how it is.
You know how it is, guys.
We've talked. I think we did quick. I think we bookmarked Quickie once before. Quickie launched about 6 or 8 months ago at another, or it might have been a year ago.
Well, it
by
was
now.
in beta,
Yeah, it's still.
but it never
was an alpha, and then-
officially launched.
Yeah.
Launched.
But they debuted it at
public,
TechCrunch, like the hackathon at TechCrunch, and at the TechCrunch event in San Francisco. No, yeah, they debuted at Disrupt in San Francisco last year, and this year they announced at TechCrunch New York that they would be giving you the ability to make your own Quickie, which I think is pretty cool.
So are they storing this on like a different server than Wikipedia, or is it, or they're basically indirectly making you a Wikipedia page?
I really don't know. I mean, I've
Because
looked
that's
through
where they
here.
pull their stuff. Like, you got to understand how Quickie is. Quickie is basically, if it has a Wikipedia page, you can do a Quickie on it. All it does is skim over the Wikipedia page and pulls in videos, doing searches and different things.
Dude, they've got an iPad.
Yeah. And that's how it works. I mean, and it just puts it together in this little flash presentation and just throws it across the thing.
Yeah.
So if you make yourself a Wikipedia page, then yeah, you could probably do it.
I think they may indirectly be. I don't think it's like making it into a another.
Like they're
Wikipedia
storing it
page.
on their stuff.
I think
or
that's what
something.
they're doing. And
Well, they might need to rethink their strategy a bit, because it says that the newest ability is to give yourself a quickie. Now, that can be perceived in so many ways.
true.
You want a quickie? Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Thanks. And I want to make
I'm
a
gonna
quickie.
Give myself a quickie, like, yeah.
Whoa.
Oh gosh. Anyway, I think Quickie's pretty cool. Like, we'll watch. Here's a presentation about Radiohead. We'll watch this for a second. It does introduce. I mean, I think it's cool. It's really good for something like. I showed it to one of my Scholar Bowl
Radiohead
teachers.
are an English rock band from Abingdon, Oxfordshire, formed in 1985.
So you really do need to work on the
band
pronunciations.
consists of Tom York, Johnny Greenwood, Ed O'Brien, Colin Greenwood and Phil Selway. Radiohead's work has appeared in a large number of listener polls and critics' lists. In 2005, Radiohead were ranked number 73 in Rolling Stone's list of the greatest artists of all time. While the band's earlier albums were influential on British rock and pop music, musicians in a wide variety of genres have been influenced by their later work. Among Radiohead members' earliest influences were Scott Walker and Elvis Costello. Post-punk acts such as Joy Division.
So anyway, I think you get the idea. I mean, what essentially,
REM,
especially the earlier days when they were sourcing from Wikipedia, it just read you some of the select things that it thought was informative on the Wikipedia article.
Yeah, and it would pull in pictures and stuff and show them like it does with a little grid thing. And then when it was in the alpha, I don't remember if you were in the alpha.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, me and Nick were in the alpha there. And after you read one, it said, what does
Yeah,
this need to
I like
improve
that.
on? And you can still do that. It just doesn't present you with the question.
Yeah.
It has a little link you can click and actually tell them you pronounced this wrong, or you're doing this wrong, or you were showing pictures of naked women on there when it was talking about, Elmo or something. You know, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And they'll go in there and they'll see what's going on, and then they kind of put in like little tweaks to it just so that it knows to do that differently.
Now, indirectly, I think both Jacob and I didn't realize I was going to get a daily update from Quickie, and a lot of times I'll turn that stuff off, but their update by email is so cool. I mean, every day you get a new
and
Quickie.
and it's related to current events.
Yeah,
too.
some of them are.
So
a lot of them are actually.
Like when the
didn't
end of the
read
world was
today.
supposed to happen, they had the zombie apocalypse, something or another, and then they had
they've had the tornadoes
when they were
recently in
talking
there.
about Oprah. They had Oprah up there, and so it was kind of cool to be like, oh, let me see what's more about it. And it's fun because you don't have to read anything.
Yeah, it's
You
just
just
like,
sit back and just watch it. And it's basically just regurgitating a Wikipedia page to you, but you don't have to sit there and read it.
Yeah.
Like if I go to a Wikipedia page, I don't have to sit there and like read something.
it kind of brings me back to the fact that a lot of times if I want to learn how to do something, I don't read an article. I go to YouTube and search for it. Same way. I mean, if I want to do some research instead of, this would just be
you
like...
could get like subconscious with it.
Yeah.
You could like halfway not pay attention, but still be taking it in.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
It is just a startup, but they do have an iPad app. I downloaded it. I might do a YouTube video or something about it. But anyhow, pretty cool. Now, just staying on the topic of startups, this kind of seemed like a ripoff of a couple of startups. You guys may not have noticed it because I follow a certain guy on Twitter, and he was asked by a venture capitalist to make... Oh, wait. Am I on the wrong story? I am on the wrong story. Never mind. Let's go back to the story.
Let's go back to the story.
A couple. I guess it was almost a month ago. We reported in Mashable, one of the larger social media blogs out there, had reported that TweetDeck had been acquired by Twitter, and that hadn't become official until this week. I know we talked a lot about this, but it is official. Twitter has acquired TweetDeck, so TweetDeck is now no longer Uber Media property. It's now owned by Twitter.
I know Uber Media never actually went through with the deals, so they were still whoever they were before Twitter bought them. Uber Media didn't actually go through with it in the end, I don't think.
Okay. But, I think, I don't know, it's kind of weird, and I wanted to talk about this topic here, and I put it in the show notes, is Twitter like buying up the market so everybody who uses an application will be using an official Twitter application, or at least
I think
a Twitter approved application.
Because they didn't really have a desktop app.
Well, except for Mac, but that was because of Tweety. It was exactly.
But they bought it. Like when they first were like, they were basically just a website.
Yeah.
And they came out with their API, and then that's when it all started unfolding. So it's kind of like YouTube. YouTube doesn't have really a desktop app, but it has a website.
Yeah.
And now they have apps for phones and stuff, kind of deal. But you're not going to go buy. YouTube's not going to start buying YouTube apps off of people or something that might,
So you're saying Twitter being a more app-centric...
really and truly, who goes to the Twitter website?
Nobody.
I go there sometimes if I'm like, I don't really feel like pulling out my phone.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, whatever.
Twitter's always been...
Or if I don't feel like having to like copy a link somehow over to my computer, I'm like, I see this link, but I want to go to it on my computer. I don't want to go to it here.
Yeah.
So, it'd be kind of cool to have that.
Now, does that bother you guys? I guess there'll always be third-party applications, maybe. I could maybe Twitter...
they're always... I don't think they're going to end their API.
Yeah.
I don't think they're just going to...
I don't think it'll really change anything at all.
Yeah,
they'll probably just keep it around because it's like it's one of the most popular Twitter clients that a lot of people use, TweetDeck.
Yeah.
And, well, I use TweetDeck on Linux quite a lot and on Windows. I only use the official one when I'm on the Mac because, I just do different things on different systems. But I don't think it'll change anything at all. But if anything does change, I'd like them to try and take it off Adobe Air.
That's what I would like to.
That is one of my major gripes about it.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that if it was taken off Adobe Air, we may not have Linux support anymore. That's just me. I don't know. I would hope that Twitter would respect that, we could still have Linux, but I don't know.
I don't think they will. They might offer like 2 versions or something, maybe.
Well, I would
It would
love.
be nice if they could have a different version for each rather than
And I
using
love-
Adobe. Yeah.
I absolutely love the Chrome Twitter. I mean, I like running 64-bit Linux. That's just something I like to do. And Adobe Air is really flaky on 64-bit Linux, as well as Flash is too. But Adobe Air much more flaky than Flash.
And also at the end of the day, I keep saying that too. You were saying
At
your
the
thing,
end
I'm
of the
saying
day.
this thing today. Adobe, I think the main reason behind that is that they don't really have nothing to gain from.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, it's like there's not getting some kind of market share or something that.
yeah.
You know, like if you give Adobe licensing, if Adobe licenses out stuff to like Mac or Windows or Android or something,
I understand that.
you know, they're able to get money from it. You know, you give it to Linux, they're just like, here you go, see ya. There's
Yeah.
no money to be made there. So that's probably why they don't do that as much. They're just like, we'll throw something there so somebody might use
Yeah.
it, but we're not getting nothing out of it. So why put more effort into it?
Yeah. Now, this next story is kind of a weird story. I mean, it was kind of weird when we saw that Amazon came out with the Android alternative to the marketplace, and I was like, well, you know, I mean, we had kind of been introduced with some different markets. Was this? Oh, you can actually.
You can actually pick.
Well,
Sorry, I
like
was
'em.
I was still like two shows ago.
I like them though. I like having the daily ones.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was kind of. I mean, do you actually use being an Android user, daily Android user? Do you ever use the Amazon Market?
No,
Neither
because
do
it's
I.
horrible.
It's
It's
the web
100%,
app.
but it's 100% horrible.
Yeah.
Like you go like when they were what was it they had?
Angry Birds Rio. It was free.
Rio. I was like free, sweet. Okay, I'll
That's what
play
I did.
this. And I was going on there. I'm like, how do you download it?
Yeah.
You can't. There's no button to download it. I was like, how? And I was just like, forget it. Forget
Yeah.
it. This is stupid. No. Wait. I did download it. The APK didn't work.
Yeah.
It said it was corrupt or something. I was like, that was your one try, Amazon. You failed.
So Thursday, in a move that puts them in direct competition with Apple's Mac App Store, Amazon announced the Mac Download Store. The Loop reports that the store has 250 of the biggest software and game titles available for the Mac. They point out that they even have some titles that aren't even in the Apple Store that are like bigger than that. So, I mean, it's just all it is a website that indexes a bunch of some of the great Mac applications that you can download from right there. I mean, Carlo, does this really even? I mean, I think it's two different things. I mean, if they would have launched a desktop application for Mac that looked, was something like the App Store, I would say, okay, now this is something kind of weird. But I mean, don't you think like download.com for Windows or something like that? I mean, doesn't this kind of remind you of something like that, just on a higher level, sort of?
I don't know. It just seemed like it's basically just a web store or whatever. To be honest, I'm not really that bothered. I'm like, because I'm a Mac user, I've got the App Store. I know it works, and I know that most of the time it works. I can get what I want most of the time from there, or I'll go and buy stuff from Amazon.com or whatever. I don't particularly, not particularly bothered about this web store.
Yeah, and it's sort of like why would it bother people? I mean,
It doesn't bother me, but it's just kind of
but
weird.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like why? I mean, why can't you have like an alternative source besides the App Store to buy? Why does Mac have to make? I mean, I know they're probably making revenue off of this. You know, they're probably got something in there going in. You know,
Yeah.
but it's like just like with Windows. I mean, you have multiple places you can download software.
Yeah.
So why can't you do that on? I mean,
Oh, you can.
really and truly, you can already on the Mac. It's just this is just the first time a big name person has come out and said, "Hey,
Yeah.
you can buy our software off of here." You can go to all these different websites and actually buy stuff. Download a DMG file. You know.
Yeah.
You go to Adobe. You don't go to the App Store to buy Adobe stuff. I mean,
Wow.
you probably could, but you can go to Adobe straight up and buy it
Yeah.
right there, and download the DMG file.
I mean, there are some good things that come out of this. Like we did see the free application, the Angry Birds Rio. I mean, I could see Amazon maybe undercutting some of the prices there in the App Store, maybe having some deals. So,
But I hate their app thing. It's
I'm
just like-
talking about for Mac. I mean,
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
just their little
Well, they don't
like
even have an app. It's just the web store, and
know, and it's-
well, HTML5 is not there yet for it's.
oh
still,
that's what it was. It wasn't that there was no download button in
Yeah.
the Android app. There was no search.
oh,
There was no search. It just randomly
You can't
threw an
search
app.
for
up.
anything.
Yeah, I'm like, you couldn't even browse. Or it was something stupid. I was
Yeah.
what are you guys doing? How can you not, like, I want to see apps.
Yeah,
Like, I don't want to have to go to a link that's directly to this thing.
yeah. I don't like web apps for phones. It's just not it.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Did you see this? This is a really interesting story, and it kind of freaks me out a little bit. You know, we've talked about how Google wants to be into everything. Well, this is even kind of weirder. This is from Ars Technica, and Google launched Google Wallet this week, and what it does, it allows you to pay with your phone. Essentially, it turns your phone into a credit card.
Yeah,
Which
it
is
uses
weird.
the little wireless.
It uses NFC, I think, near field
Yeah.
communication. Now they've partnered with Citi, which is a pretty major bank corporation in the U.S. and maybe even globally, not quite sure, and Sprint, because they have it available on the Sprint Nexus S right now, the Sprint version, the new Nexus S 4G. Because I think there's only a couple phones that do near field communication.
Yeah, because majority of them don't. They have like the it's basically RFID is basically what it comes down to.
It kind of reminds me. I mean, they even have a PayPass little thing here. Remember those things? Like your credit card had a PayPass in it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and you remember that we were talking about.
we have talked about this.
People
before.
could walk up
could
and
just
like,
walk-
if you had a device that could read it, you could go up there. I mean, given that some of these are algorithmed and sometimes it requires like a passkey and stuff to
But
do
if
it.
you get that data, I mean, that's one step closer to
But I think
decrypting
with
it.
this, you can't just like
walk up and
swipe. You can't just like tap on somebody's phone in their pocket and it give you all their credit cards. You got to have an active thing going on the screen to actually, you have to get it in that mode and for it to output. It's just not constantly outputting like your credit card numbers for a PayPass thing because that kind of suck if it was a little too strong and like, you're like paying for everybody's stuff when you walk through the store.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now, this comes directly from Google's VP at the keynote that they had. Our goal is to bring together all of the pieces of the ecosystem. Your phone will be your wallet. Oh, wait, is that what? Your phone will be your wallet. Just tap, pay, and save.
Yeah, because, I don't carry, I don't carry cash around
I carried
much anymore.
Card, that's it.
And I'm still waiting for like vending machines and stuff to get like tap to pay stuff.
Or even just take credit card.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of them aren't connected. But now you got cellular stuff, so you see that in like heavy traffic areas. But like your standard vending machine,
Yeah.
I was just saying that's like the only thing I can really think of that really still uses cash only. I
Yeah.
mean, there's some out there like in airports, but then they're going to charge you $4 for the drink.
Yeah, for the transaction or something. They'll
So.
get their money back on that transaction.
Yeah.
Colorado, what do you think about this? I mean, this does bring up, if your phone's stolen, what do you do? I mean, even if you have to have a password, you can
I
get
think
that.
it's too early for this stuff. What I'm
Yeah.
going to do is, right now, it sounds like a good concept that you have your phone on you all the time, or just about most people do. It's convenient, and that you can go into Starbucks or whatever and tap your phone to pay for a coffee. But at the moment, it's too early. There's too much security risk involved, and a lot of people, I don't think, will be 100% willing to adopt this straight away.
Yeah, because
Myself included, because I'm old-fashioned. I like money in my wallet and I like my credit card on me, and I like to keep things separate.
yeah, and also driver's license and stuff. You're always going to have your wallet with you. It's not like you're going to have a picture of your driver's license on your phone and go, "Officer, I don't know what happened." He'd be like,
that would
"Sorry,
be
sir,
kinda
I'm going to
cool,
have to take that." But
Most
then you could
occasions,
just
I'll even forget to take my phone out with me, but I'll always have my wallet on me.
yeah, because and it's like I don't know. Only certain people are going to be doing this, and it's like
Yeah.
sort of like the PayPass thing. Everybody didn't do the PayPass.
Yeah, only Visa did, and you had to have, some people might have been in between getting a new card, so you may not even get
Yeah,
it.
I mean-
The only way you get it is for your card to expire, to want one, to be like, hey, can I have a PayPass card?
So it's kind of like I don't know.
The only thing this would be really cool. I mean, I would. This would not be a second tier story right now if every single phone shipped with NFC right now. It would be totally different if my phone had it. If your phone had it.
If they were like, oh, by the way, all the phones already have this. We just didn't really tell nobody because it was kind of like
that would be kind of weird, but it would still be awesome because I'd be like, all right.
I reckon some of the Google phones actually do.
Yeah, and it's. I think it'll be something that will be adopted by like HTC and some other
they'll probably start. But I mean, and you already got like the in a way, which I really wouldn't want them to, but you could do it with Bluetooth because it's still the same technology. But then people like hack into your Bluetooth so easily. You know, you got to have this closed system that's got like a 6-inch range. You know, it's nothing that. You got to be on that phone in order to like really get into it because people could like just tap into it just walking down the streets, and it's just not a good thing. I don't really like the wireless paying things.
But then at the same wireless puts me off a bit.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, somebody could take your wallet out of your pocket just as easy. You know, I mean, someone come up there with a razor blade and cut the bottom of your pocket open. They can take your wallet, and you'll have that muscle memory kind of in your butt. From where the wallet was, and you're sort of like, I don't really know that it's gone yet.
Yeah,
there's always someone sitting there in the corner with a computer, like ready to take your stuff if you're transmitting wireless signals.
Yeah,
I think
we don't really fully see how many people are trying to steal our stuff all the time, just because we don't get our stuff stolen all the time. But I think if you saw like going into a coffee shop, like, oh, look, there's a girl over there working on her math homework. No, she's trying to steal everybody's credit cards. Kind of deal,
I think I am with Carlo. It is a lot too early. I mean, like, if right now, if we saw this technology shipping on every single phone, if like even 50 or 60% of the people who had smartphones had this in their pocket, I would say, all right, this is pretty cool. And it's a cool thing, but I mean, right now, like Carlos said, it's just with Google. I mean, if you have to...
What's harder to pull out your phone or pull out your card?
It's about the same.
I'm like... And then to swipe it, you just go like this, and then you go, beep. Oh, junk, it didn't take. Beep. Yeah. It's the same thing with a card.
I can see this exactly. Oh, the machine that reads it is broken. I mean, that's happened like...
Oh, sorry. Longer on your phone because you've got to open the app and stuff.
Yeah, and then how are you going to pay for it? They can't manually type in your card number like sometimes they can do. Because it's like... You don't have a card number show. It's like I don't know.
It's an interesting. I mean, it feels really futuristic, but I don't think it's gonna like.
The other thing I don't like is now you could have apps on your phone that sees you using that and report your usage to other people, and now you're getting all this stuff about.
Yeah.
Oh, you bought a bag of chips, huh? It's kind of like Big Brother too much for me. I don't really like it.
Yeah.
People could very easily put in. Like a little like backdoor thing that sort of sends your use information, and it's just more and more like product placement kind of. I think, and I'm going to say it again because that's what this is the word for the day. At the end of the day, I think it all comes down to the market, like people trying to advertise and stuff. And this is a new way of advertising. They don't have to show you anything; they just get information from you, and that's their way of advertising. They're not telling you anything. They're just getting stuff. And that's the way we've gone now. We no longer really like get shown something and get enticed to use it. They just see what we're using and geared towards us.
Yep.
And
it's kind of scary.
Yeah. I mean, people way too much personal information floating through the cloud now than there was before, so that's my 2 cents.
Now, this is the story I was trying to get to earlier is, I know a guy, Steven, I forget how to say his name anyway. Steven. A guy following Twitter, he was asked, he did the iTunes Instant, remember that? He was asked to build something that allowed you, it was essentially access the Twitter API and brings in different, you could see like other people's timelines, so who they follow, like I could go and see like Jacob's and I could see like what was happening on his, which is an interesting feature in some ways. I mean, it's something we've never been able to see on Twitter before. Well, now Twitter has implemented this into their service, and well, I'll show it. I'll do a live little show off here. So if we go to Twitter,
so basically what this is doing is just most of the time when you go to see when you click someone's name, like if you go to twitter.com/freaking huge, you don't see what is going on between them.
Or you don't see what it's your like.
You only see what they're sending out. You don't see what they're getting back and stuff. And
yeah, and also it brings in I forgot how to even do this. How do we? I did it once. Let's see. If you come in here,
you go into the profile.
Well, I mean, I
think you have to be like not logged in to see it.
Oh, really? I know I've done it before, but all right, let's just see. Let's go to Jacob's friends.
Freaking huge. Freaking huge.
If you're not logged in, you have this bar that has it.
Yeah, it looks like a shuffle bar almost in like iTunes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right there. Curious how Jacob Roberts uses Twitter over on the right.
Where?
Underneath the yellow bar.
Oh.
On the right side.
Where it says it.
Just above the followers and stuff.
There you go. Boom.
No, this is
that is
here
my
it is.
Twitter.
Here it is.
No, right
here.
there.
That was who you follow.
I know, but that was like my Twitter stream.
Oh.
That I would see.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
so
basically
that's it right there. That's my Twitter stream as I see it.
Okay.
So watch out for
the thing is, it doesn't show anything that.
But it won't
for
show.
Example, it won't show Jacob's tweets. But it won't show stuff that Jacob sees.
But it won't show any protective users, of course.
That too, yeah.
Because you're not going to see that.
So
it won't show anything that you put out personally either. Just people you follow.
I mean, you can see that if you just go to twitter.com/freaking huge. But now you can see what I'm seeing minus the what's his face. So
that's pretty cool. I mean, it's just a new feature in Twitter. I mean, I think in a couple weeks we'll brush over this and
forget about it.
Yeah, exactly. Carlos said another way to stop people. It's cool.
Because, at the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
You know what the name of the show's going to be?
At the end of the day.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the day, I find it pretty pointless.
Yeah, who's going to go to their website anyways to look at this? So, I'm just going to look at it on my desktop application that you just bought or my app on my phone. Because that's the way we roll.
Yep. So our final story for today, at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, our final story for the day
is PayPal is now suing Google over its trade secrets with Google Wallet and some other different things. Now, this is complete. I mean,
another sue job.
Yeah. We talked about earlier how, Jay was joking around how Apple's been in a lot of different suits over the last couple of years.
They had an Armani suit. They had a one of those. I don't even know.
I don't know any name brands either.
Charcoal suit.
Yeah.
Pinstripe suits.
Now, I think they're feeling some market pressure right now. They're feeling Google is bringing. I mean, I bought something from the Google store. I brought a YouTube shirt. A shirt that said, just has the YouTube logo on it, and it prompted me. It said, "Hey, we've already got your credit card information here because you've checked out with the Google checkout before." And I'm just like, yeah, go ahead and do that, I guess.
Well, see, like on your phone.
Yeah.
On an Android phone, when you go and buy an app on the Android market, it's basically one more click, and you bought it with your credit card because it's linked to your Google checkout.
Yeah.
So,
And, I mean,
PayPal doesn't like the fact that Google is competing, and they're a competitor. But they're not just a competitor, they're everything else, too. So PayPal is just PayPal. That's all they do.
Yeah.
So they're sort of like, they got to fight back because, Google has that now. Basically, they have a PayPal version of their own, plus all this other stuff.
Plus an application that allows you, they have
wallet. It's linked together. I mean,
yeah.
Trust me, PayPal tried to come out with their own app. It sucks donkey junk.
Yeah. Now, I think PayPal still has a pretty good market share. I mean, they were the first one in this space.
I use PayPal because I mainly use PayPal, one, because it's convenient, and two, because you got the security backbone.
I like that.
You just go on eBay and give somebody like a money order. There is no eBay kind of backs you up a little bit. Sorta. But if you buy it through PayPal, hey, PayPal, they screwed me over. Okay, here's your money back. We'll fight it. Yeah. And it's boom, done. They get a percentage, and that's how they're able to fight it. It's because they're getting money for it. They know if they fight it, they get more money.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I mean, that's essentially. I think that's what they're feeling is
and
market pressure.
I've never really had to deal with Google to fight anything. I don't think Google will actually fight anything. I think you have to deal with your card holder. I think with Google, if I'm thinking right.
I don't know. I mean,
Because like I don't ever remember like if they say like there's a problem with this order, it's like contact the seller or your card holder or something like that. I don't think Google gets involved in that. They do a really good job at tying it all together though. You know?
Yeah.
Because they're able to because they got all these other things that
Yeah,
they can tie it
that's what I
together
like.
with.
I
I like it. If I have the option to do Google Checkout over PayPal, I'll do Google Checkout.
yeah. All right. Well, I think that was a pretty good episode. At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, that was a pretty good episode. Just saying. Say them all at once.
Yeah.
At
Carlo,
the end of the day, I'm going to get rid of this cold in mine.
yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully by the end of the day.
Well,
It's
Carlo,
nearly at the end of the day. Around here, it's 6 p.m. right now.
yeah, true. Carlo, thank you for joining us. You can follow Carlo on Twitter, twitter.com/Carlo Brown, and stalk him and everything that he does. Because at the
Follow
end
my
of the day,
nonsense and randomness.
yes, at the end of the day, I mean, essentially everybody wants to stalk people.
At the end of the day.
You can
No,
follow,
it's
Stalk me,
beginning
I
of the-
don't care.
you can follow
I love the attention.
yes. You can follow Jacob on Twitter, twitter.com/freakinghuge, FREAKINHUGE. Watch him eat
Mass gratuitous amounts of hamburger beef.
yes, hamburger. And then
Hamburger.
you can his blog, jacobroberts.me.
Yeah, I haven't updated these yet.
And you can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/thatnickjones, and nickjones.me. Mm-hmm. One more thing we have to mention. Unfortunately, last show until
Then
Monday. No, wait. Let's think about this. It'll be Monday, right?
It will be not next Monday.
The next Monday.
It'll be the next Monday. So the 6th.
Yeah. So our last show until the 6th of June. We will. I mean, I'm not gonna have any control over this, but as
Nick's
long
going on a sticking cruise.
yes, I will be in Mexico.
It's
Getting-
cruising in Mexico.
I will be
Yeah.
cruising in Mexico.
Maybe we go cruising in Mexico.
But I would really encourage you guys. There's always people in the chat room. Smoothie and Eric are really good about hanging out. So if you come in the chat room, you can watch pre-recorded episodes, whatever. What I'll probably do is I'll just do like I'll get a lot of episodes on the playlist, and as long as the Wirecast doesn't fail or whatever, we'll be running. And if it does fail, I won't know about it. And I think Jacob is
I'll
gonna.
let you know.
All right, yeah.
Just keep an eye on it.
And the only problem is I'm not gonna have much internet access at all because you pay.
Yeah.
You pay.
You don't
like-
have internet. You might as well forget about cell phone and internet access
Yeah.
while you're on a cruise because it costs money.
Yeah. So I'll probably I may get a couple.
Unless you can get 3G at sea or something.
Well, that
Yeah,
would
and it'll
probably
cost you
an
about-
arm and a leg.
It costs you about like $1 a minute or more,
Too much.
or $4 a minute. It's ridiculous.
So there'll probably be like a massive amount of pictures and things, and I'll probably talk about those on Monday.
Social networks prepare for overload when Nicholas comes
Big
back.
swoosh.
I'm just gonna dump.
He's gonna be like,
I'm gonna dump a week of information into one day. I don't know. Anyway,
bad.
but that'll be interesting. And nickjones.me will be the place where I post all those pictures and things. So make sure to check those out when I get back. But yeah,
oh gosh.
at the end of the day, I think it's time to end the episode.
At the end of the day, it is.
Well, Carlo, thanks for joining us once again. And until next time, I'm Nick Jones.
I'm Nick Jones. Oh, wait. I'm Jacob Roberts.
And I'm hungry.
And this is another episode of Tech Weekly.
Peace.
Pieces.
Oh, we didn't even do